Hello, everyone. This is Janeza. Today, we're going to talk about Neptune and its influence over the next 13 years. We've already discussed all the planets that have made an ingress, meaning a transition into another sign, namely Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Pluto. The transition of any planet into a new sign represents a shift in energy, the kind of energy we will find ourselves in, feel, and experience through the events of our lives. Videos about all the planets mentioned above are already available on my channel. Why is this so important? Because both the social and transpersonal higher planets influence us in such a way that they can completely transform our lives, creating a before and after. They may change our environment or affect our psyche so deeply that we can no longer tolerate the way we used to live. As a result, under the pressure of life's circumstances, we begin to transform our own lives. These changes are triggered by the energies influencing us. So, as I mentioned, today's video is about Neptune. At first glance, it seems like an innocent planet one that participates in the formulas of love, creativity, and inspiration, and is connected to psychology, subconscious motivation, and the inner world. If the moon describes the soul, habits, and behavior of a person, then Neptune represents deep psychology. And when it forms serious aspects, our mental state can shift quite profoundly. Major psychological disorders that develop throughout life are often the result of negative aspects from transpersonal planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Neptune's cycle lasts 165 years. This means that over 165 years, it travels through all 12 zodiac signs. When Neptune was discovered in 1846, anesthesiology began to develop actively. Before that, surgeries were performed without anesthesia, and it is Neptune that is responsible for the numbing or clouding of consciousness. Under the influence of this planet's energy, our awareness can undergo deep transformations. Neptune is a transpersonal higher planet, and its energy is the most complex among the three: Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Neptune entered the sign of Aries on March 30th, 2025. However, this is only a temporary entry, lasting until October 22nd, 2025, after which Neptune will return to Pisces. In fact, it has already done so at the time I'm recording this video. Then on January 26th, 2026, Neptune will finally move into Aries and remain there until March 23rd, 2039. What does this mean? It means that over the next 13 years, we'll experience significant changes in all areas governed by Neptune. The realm of Neptune is the world of illusions, dreams, and fantasies. Through the internet and television, certain ideas and beliefs will be actively impressed upon people's minds. Neptune also rules spirituality and meditation, so over these 13 years, various forms of spiritual practices will develop rapidly. Meditation will become extremely popular and will spread widely through online platforms. Neptune is also the planet of art, creativity, and inspiration. People will seek to escape daily routines by engaging in creative expression. Since Neptune governs music, poetry, film, photography, and the idealization of beauty, individuals with a strong Neptune in their charts are often gifted artists, musicians, or empaths. Neptune is also responsible for addictions, the kinds that create the illusion of escaping reality, drugs, alcohol, and euphoria. All of these are connected to the influence of this planet. In most cases, it is under the negative aspects of Neptune that people seek comfort by using alcohol or drugs. as a way or an attempt to numb emotional pain or avoid responsibility. Psychologists, hypnotherapists, and esoteric practitioners often work within Neptune's energetic field. That's why astrology will also become very popular, as people will have a growing desire to understand themselves and their surroundings on a deeper level. Facing various life challenges, many will turn to tarot, astrology, palmistry, and even magic in search of guidance and comfort. Spiritual movements and new religions will also emerge and gain popularity during this period. To understand how all of this will influence us, we need to talk about the connection between Neptune and Mars, because we will be living under the combined influence of these two planetary energies. Why a connection? Because Aries is ruled by Mars. When Neptune enters this sign, it essentially creates a fusion of the energies of Neptune and Mars, and this combination will affect all the areas ruled by Neptune, including the specific life spheres it governs in your natal chart. In your chart, Neptune rules one or even two astrological fields, and it is also positioned in another field. So the areas it touches there will also experience this influence. Accordingly, serious changes will also take place in those areas of your life. However, such changes are usually discussed during personal consultations. Today, we'll focus on the influence of these two energies on all of humanity. By the way, floods are also a Neptunian theme. One of the most important characteristics of Mars is speed and activity, which means that everything mentioned above will unfold very rapidly and dynamically. This combination will have both negative and positive effects. Interestingly, if a woman's natal chart shows a conjunction between Mars and Neptune, it often describes the type of man she attracts. Usually, it's a man who is unemployed, searching for himself, perhaps a free-spirited artist, alcoholic, or drug addict. That was a bit of a digression. So Neptune in Aries marks a period of allergic reactions and poisonings. Because Neptune rules infections, it also relates to the mixing of unclear substances and chemical compounds that can affect the body in unpredictable ways. During these 13 years, it will be difficult to connect deeply with loved ones, as people will fear opening their souls, worried that they might be deceived or used for someone else's purposes. As a result, at first there may be psychological issues and later more serious mental disturbances. Mars represents willpower, and under this influence, it may act against someone, something, an illusion, or a deception. People may become emotionally closed off to avoid feeling exposed or vulnerable. This can lead to actions based on false plans, deceptive motivations, and misguided goals. There won't always be a clear understanding of who is the enemy and who can be trusted. This period also brings high excitability and overstimulated emotional state, and under such nervous tension, people may start taking antidepressants, sleeping pills, or chemical substances of unclear composition. It can even lead to dependencies on psychologists and psychotherapists themselves. The thing is, on the positive side, Neptune's energy governs relaxation and a calm, peaceful state, but when it mixes with Mars energy, which is active, combative, sharp, aggressive, and forceful, people can become unpredictable. Actions may be unclear or misdirected, motivations can blur, and a person may struggle to define their goals and intentions. Illusions about the future may form that often have little to do with reality because actions feel inadequate, and sudden impulses may produce results that are unexpected or unintended. However, by controlling ourselves and our mental state, we can navigate Neptune's transition into a new sign positively. What positive outcomes can this planetary conjunction bring? The ability to live in love, a state of being in love where life feels vibrant and meaningful, a balanced and responsible attitude toward medications and remedies, harmonious psychology, allowing a person to calmly manage difficulties, inner stability, well being, and the ability to love. This is how a positive aspect, like a trine from Mars to Neptune, usually works. But today we are talking about a conjunction, so whether we experience it negatively or positively will depend on our self control. Try to live in love over the next 13 years, expressing love through relationships, creativity, profession, or hobbies. This is a skill we can cultivate within ourselves. We are living humans with free will, capable of improving our lives despite any obstacles. Controlling oneself can be difficult, but in a state of passion for a person, one's work, creativity, or profession, we can redirect our actions and energy toward the positive. So, even though this energy conjunction may be challenging, we know how to live through these 13 years in the best way possible. Life is a gift to be cherished because we only live it once. The next video will cover the forecast for November. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Wishing you all the best.